Hi guys, Snowbox here, and just thought I'd do a little something about how to put together a pedal board on the cheap. If you don't want to spend a lot of money, you look at some of these pedal boards online, they got all kinds of fancy ass boutique stuff, pedals that run $200-300 a piece, and it's not necessary. It's really not. You can get a lot of stuff that's inexpensive and does the job for most people's uses. I'm speaking mainly to bedroom guitarists, guys that like to jam in the garage now and then, that sort of thing. Not necessarily completely professional. And I start out with things like this, the Joyal line. Take a look at these. They do a whack load of pedals and they're dirt cheap. And not necessarily because of quality-wise. I mean, this one here, this is a good little overdrive pedal. It's called the Ultimate Drive. And it's a copy of an OCD pedal, or so they say online anyway. And it works good. It's got a low and high frequency switch, and then your usual tone, volume, and gain knobs, and it's true bypass. And it's a good sounding pedal. And these are retail for about $40 brand new. You can pick them up for 25, maybe 30 tops used if you look around. Move over to people like these guys here, Behringer. These guys here knock off pedals like crazy. This one is a knockoff of a Boss tremolo pedal, or so they say. I haven't compared it, but it probably is. And these retail for about 25 bucks, maybe 30. The problem with these though is that they're plastic, and durability wise, yeah, I don't know. I don't think these would handle gigging very long, but for bedroom purposes, or jamming with your buddies, this will do fine. It really will. I've played around with it, and it's not a bad pedal for what it is. I paid 20 bucks for it, and it's a good little pedal for what it is. We move over to let's see, something everybody's heard of, MXR by Dunlap. They do a lot of stuff. Some of it's expensive, but when you keep it down to the basics, like the distortion boxes, like this one here, Distortion Plus. These retail brand new for about 100 bucks, give or take. You can pick them up secondhand for 50, maybe 60 bucks on the used market. And they're common as dirt because you go online, just go to eBay and punch in Distortion Plus and you'll see pages of them. And the ones like this, the newer ones, you can get the vintage ones where you pay a lot of money for, but you don't need that. This will do just fine for something that's inexpensive. Go back to Joyal, the British pedal. Disregard the Marshall, that's a sticker I put on. This is a Joyal pedal. This is supposed to emulate a Marshall, or maybe a Vox because it's got purple on it. I don't know, but it's a pretty good pedal, and it's got all kinds of controls on it. It's got the gain, volume, of course. It's got low, mid, and high, and this voice control. And of course level and gain. Voice control. What I do is I set my tone where I want it, and I fine tune it with this. 50 bucks these go for brand new. 50 bucks. And you can pick them up used for maybe 25 or 30. Great value for the money. The Joyal. Have a look at it. As long as we're on Joyal, I might as well do this one too. These are the only three I have. This is a digital delay from Joyal. It's nice and simple. It's got time, repeats, and level. That's it. And these things are all true bypass, metal case. And it's a good delay, nice and simple, dead easy to set. It doesn't have a whole bunch of knobs and dials and crap on it where you spend all day farting around. You just dial up what you want and play. These are about, I think these are 60, brand new. You can pick them up for about 30 bucks. Usually on the used market stuff goes for reasonably about half of what it is new, depending on what it is, of course. So there's it. That's all I have for Joyal. Let's look at Digitech Bad Monkey. Brand new, about 60 bucks. And these are a killer pedal. These things kick ass. They're supposed to be Digitech's version, I guess, of a tube screamer. It is an overdrive pedal, but it's got a high and low, bass and treble controls instead of the one knob, so you can. It's not so mids heavy either. It's, so you can dial up what you want with it. And it's a good pedal. There's guys that use these professionally, wouldn't part with them. So Digitech Bad Monkey, brand new, about 60 bucks. Retail in the neighborhood about 30, 35, maybe 40 bucks. These might go for a little bit more just because they're such a good pedal. People know their reputation. If you want to go with the real name brand, Marshall. Believe it or not, make pedals. A lot of people don't even know that. They do a line of pedals. I think they do maybe 7 or 8. They do a compressor. They do a reverb, a delay. They do a copy. I think they do chorus too. Flanger maybe. They do what do you call it? The blues driver? No, the blues breaker. That's it. Sorry, brain cramp. Blues breaker 2 they call it, and it's not quite the same as the original, but it's an overdrive pedal, and it's a good one too. This one's a jackhammer, and it's a distortion pedal, but it's got a whole bunch of parameters you can set on it. And it's got an overdrive setting or a distortion setting. The overdrive setting actually sounds better in my opinion. But built like a tank. This thing's heavy. This thing's like a brick. These are good roadworthy pedals, and there's a name Marshall on it. You know, the quality's in there. These things sell, believe it or not, they retail for about 60 bucks for a Marshall product. And again, they sell in 9 for 30, 35 bucks used. So don't discount looking for Marshall pedals, because these are good stuff. And I guess last but not least, Boss Super Overdrive. These things, the retail price around 100 bucks. They're so common. As long as you stay away from the vintage stuff, there's a lot of vintage Boss out there now. It goes for big bucks. These are about I think it's about an $80 pedal or $90. Sell for 40 or 50 online used. And it's Boss. Everybody knows Boss quality. They're tough, and you can stomp on them until the cows come home, and they'll just go forever. So you know, keep an eye out for the Boss stuff too. And you don't. I guess the point I'm making is you don't necessarily have to go big dollar boutique. You know, don't be too impressed when you look at these rock stars and all this fancy stuff they're using. Keep it simple. It'll serve you forever. And if something breaks down, it doesn't cost you the moon to replace it. That's my philosophy. That's what I do. So anyway, I hope you find this helpful, and thanks for watching.